being here. My name is Maria Burns. I'm with Texas Southern University. So after years of being in the maritime industry, I would like to teach younger generations how to do things that I'm familiar with. So today we're going to speak about the in-house broker, which is very similar to what Clarksons do. And we are responsible for the sale and purchase of assets, which is our ships in the shipping industry. At the same time, I've also been in the operations department, and these are the two different job positions that I will talk about this evening. So, the first thing is about shipping being a global business. I was trying to make up my resume, and I thought the easiest thing to do, the easiest way of doing that would be to check the map of the world and the different offices, the different branches, and where I've worked in the past. So, let's see. I was born in Greece, as you can tell from my accent, I guess, and I had the opportunity of traveling and working in different branches, collaborating with colleagues in different continents, different states. So this is a beautiful opportunity. If you were to ask my colleague, Captain Miller, for example, he's a captain, or Captain Robert Morgan, they're seafarers, they're officers, they're captains, so their job is to travel on a daily basis. My job as an in-house broker or as an operator in the operations department of a company was basically to be the shadow to support those colleagues whose job was to be around the world and travel. Let's see some more information. Well, I started with Ceres, a multinational ship-owning company of 200 ships. And this is where I got the experience I'm going to tell you tonight. And then in ABS, I was a senior consultant and senior trainer. And now I'm at TSU, Texas Southern University, where I teach exactly this stuff. Let's see. Big morning Greece, it means that you open the window, you watch the beach, right? There's ports and ships everywhere. Actually, Greek economy is not doing very well lately, but if you check the facts and figures, Greek ship owners are among the leading ship owners of the world. So this is because of the geography of our country. We have 300 islands that are populated and 3,000 islands that are just populated in the summer. So this means, well, shipping is our life. It's like a religion to us. It's very important. Let's talk about you now. So shipbroker is the liaison, the link, right? It's the catalyst between the ship owners and the charters, the cargo owners. So you see this triangle? Well, ship owners also need to have in-house brokers that are going to collaborate. And so what you need is you need to set up a department that is going to be able to follow the market exactly the same way, just like Clarksons do. The only difference is that Clarksons have thousands of clients, different clients around the world. Our client is our boss. So it's that person that signs the paycheck at the end of the month. So we have to keep that ship owner satisfied. How do we do that? Well, do you have any thoughts? Value for money, like profitability? Establishing long-term relations with great clients, because if you want to find out how the market sees you, look around at the collaborations that you make. Tell me, who are your clients? Who do you make business with? And I'll tell you what tier, what type of company your company is. So you will see at the graph underneath, you will see the purchase of a vessel. Who is your best friend? If you're a ship owner, you buy a vessel. So you need a shipbroker to help you choose the right market, the right ship at the best price. Then contract, all the negotiations. You do the negotiations through a broking firm, just like Clarksons. The ship operations is another thing that we are going to talk about later on. And then time to sell your vessel. When your vessel is old, when your vessel's commercial life reaches the end, it's not profitable enough for you, or for some reasons you need to replace or renew your fleet, that's the time again to contact a shipbroking firm and do the business with them. So, in the same way that independent shipbrokers like Clarksons do the things at a global level, well, guess what? Ceres is one of the leading companies that has a segmentation of different departments depending on the types of ships that we trade, right? So I was working in the chemicals department, so we have to buy and sell chemical ships. We trade chemical ships. That was our department. But also, you have a tankers department and a dry cargo department. So these are the different divisions of the company. Just like Clarksons has companies around the world, our company had also offices around the world, right? And you can see that in-house broker mirrors and collaborates with the competitive broker. So what is our goal? Our goal is to actually maximize profitability and keep our ship owners happy. And then you can see that in terms of the timeline, when the contract has been signed, when the deal has been, has been concluded, time to celebrate. But the next part is the operations department. You need to instruct the master of your fleet, the master of your ships. These are the terms and conditions. This is the charter party, and you have to comply, and you have to keep those clients happy as well. Ship owning companies and how they work. First of all, what is a traditional ship owning company? Family owned. Well, it can be family owned, and you're there to stay. So this means that, of course, you're wealthy enough to own ships, but you are dedicated in the ship owning industry, generation after generation. As opposed to just being an entrepreneur, this year you might be involved with Olympic Games, whatever, sponsoring, or next year you might be involved with fast cars or the tourist industry. Well, a traditional ship owning company is there to stay, and you wait, even when the market is not very attractive, you're there to stay, okay, throughout the entire shipping cycle, economic cycle. That company was founded back in 1824, which means they have a lot of experience, right? And then, thinking of strategic alliances, ship-owning companies traditionally have powerful allies. You want to have as many strategic alliances as possible. Then, one other thing about leading companies is that you have to be proactive. So before, it was mandatory for ship owners to actually comply with environmental regulations. That ship-owning company offered a voluntary commitment to save the seas. So this happened decades before Open 90, well before that, well before we started talking about VGP and ISO 14001, they were proactive. So this is something that you respect in a traditional company. If they care and they want to be there, they can sense where the market takes you, they want to be the first one to comply. So as some of my students here can recognize the charter party, right? The cover page of a charter party. So, well, the in-house broker is the person that actually signs and tries to formulate the terms and conditions and stipulate the terms and conditions within the charter party. And you have multiple obligations and tasks. So if I was to recap what you need to do in order to get into this industry, it's about responsibility, and it's about doing everything in an exciting way. So you have to feel your adrenaline really, your pulse, okay? You have to be very active. First of all, you need to collaborate with the operations department. You need to speak with the ship's masters, the engineers, and actually get a grasp of the condition of your fleet. When the time comes to talk to the shipbrokers like Clarksons, you definitely need to have a clear understanding of the product that you're selling, you're marketing. You're marketing your ships, right? So if you market your ships, it means you have to know very well the strengths and weaknesses of your fleet. You have to gather knowledge from different departments. Literally, every single department of a shipping company. Favorable charter party terms and conditions. favorable. So when we sign a charter party, it's all about money, as very correctly Mr. Bertel said, but also it's about establishing long-term relations, so you want to keep everybody happy. If you find those dream charters, Class A, right? You want to keep them. You don't want to let them go. So if you try to be a little petty, for just a couple of $1,000s, like it's a matter of prestige or vendetta, well, you better think long term, right? I want to keep these clients forever, for as long as this company is here. I want to collaborate with these charters. So you try to think long term. Another thing is, the market is volatile. You have your good years and a bad year, right? Bad years. So if you help the charters when the market is bad for them, they're going to help you when times are tough for you. So with this collaboration, you ensure that everybody's happy. Of course, market forecasting. So the things I keep on telling my students who are here, the first thing you do in the morning, you have your coffee mug, right? What do? You read the market. You want to know what's up in the market cycles, any kind of information about the fluctuations and the trends. Of course, competition, your clients, you want to have inside information. So when we go to any maritime event, any kind of, let's say, cocktail party, it's not a cocktail party itself. You want to find this inside information. You do care what your competition does. You want to know not only what everybody else is doing in the market, but why they're doing it. Sometimes companies can apparently do something that doesn't make sense, but in reality, they have some inside information. So this is what you want to know. So the chartering department have signed the contracts, everything's perfect. And now it's time for the operations department, the managers and the coordinators of the operations department to do things within the, to take care of the fleet. So how do you do that? Again, you are controlling, each member of the operations department is controlling a number of ships. So what we do, we have to monitor their movement, we have to monitor their loading, their discharging, their ballast stream, the ballast leg voyages. You have to know if they perform according to the charter party. So your job in the operations is to finalize, to materialize everything that the chartering department has promised that we would do. So this is equally important, right? You have to deliver as promised. If you fail to deliver this time, then the chartering department and our brokers here in Clarksons are going to find it very difficult to charter that ship. If we have any technical problems, engineering problems, the main engine just stops, any kind of claims, cargo claims, a part of, cargo damage, you name it. Any kind of problem is going to be like your shadow for the rest of the commercial life of the ship and the company itself. So we have to think again, long term. So do you see here, just like an Android application, well, this is the port of Southampton, you can see there, England and Western Europe. This is a typical marine traffic ship position. You can see actual time, what ships trade around the world, anytime, any place. You also have information. Clarksons have a department, I know because I've seen it in a Baltic Exchange in London. They have a department that actually sells information like intelligence software. You can see the names of the ships, what they load, what they discharge, everything, the charters' names, so you can have inside information up to a point. You don't know the terms and conditions of your competition, but you can still compare. You can see what they do, okay? This is a typical software, again, of the operations department. This is taken from Maersk Shipping Company, just to show you what the software, typical software of an operations department can demonstrate for you. You have the different names of the ships, you know where they are, and you select a geographical location. So here you can see Africa. You choose the continent of Africa, and you want to know which ones among our fleet are trading around Africa. And then you know what they're loading, where they loaded, where they're discharging, and the most important, when the charter party is coming to a completion and you'll be ready to charter your ship again. This is again a typical position list of the operations department. So the operations department now, with very efficient software, are able to separate the vessels according to the ship types, according to the geographical locations, like UK, continent, Mediterranean, for example. And the most important is that you know when the charter party is ending, so you can communicate with your brokers again and tell them when you will be ready for the next contract. This is again a typical voyage estimator. Very roughly, what we do here is we try to compare, it's one single vessel. The software has accepted, the software of a ship owning company has a database of every single ship in the company, and we have 3 different options. What charter party to choose, with each charter. So we have 3 cargoes, 3 charters, but 1 ship. So in this comparison, you see that the middle solution is the best financially. We have the profit is the maximum compared to the others, is better profit. So these are some of the indicators that our software can lead us to. Of course, I think to consider again long-term is that if you have better charters, if you have long-term collaborations with your charters, you might not choose the one option that will give you more money, because what you want to achieve is long-term collaboration with reliable charters, right? Because sometimes you sign a charter party and then that's when trouble starts, right? And the money never appears, right? Mr. Bergman? Okay. So, again, do you see that throughout a single vessel's commercial life, you buy the ship, you make the negotiations, the operations, and then you sell the vessel. And it's all about money, efficiency. It's about being at the right time, right place. So let's talk about you again, in particular, because you're in this room, because you're interested in a career in the shipping industry. So the benefits, I would say the best benefits you can ever dream of are found in the maritime industry, especially here in Texas. God bless Texas, because we have the oil and gas industry. If you're involved in tankers, chemicals, liquefied natural gas, petroleum gas carriers, there's a lot of money involved. From all those factors, well, you have to love a multicultural environment. You have to want to talk to people that have an accent, just like me, right? Everybody has an accent in shipping, right? Some people have a Texas accent, some people have a different accent. Everybody has an accent. But it's fascinating, and you want to know how people live in different parts of the world, right? Another part that I love about shipping is empowerment. Shipping is like the fast lane of the industry. So no boss has the time to show you everything and sit on your shoulder and tell you every day, this is what you have to do, and let me check how you've done it. You have to self-manage your performance. You have to be your own boss. So can you do that? Can you cope with that? Do you enjoy doing that? Do you feel comfortable with that? So empowerment is very important in shipping. If your boss is in a meeting and then another supervisor, like all the whole hierarchy are tied up in other contracts and other obligations, you have to get things done. You have to be very dynamic and just do it, okay? So what do you need to do? Leadership and teamwork. You have to work well with yourself. Self-management is the key there. Teamwork as well. You have to collaborate with every single department. Many times you have to accomplish a task with your colleagues that you've never seen. You just talk on the phone and you have to get things done. Sometimes you work on a specific company software And when you go to bed, your colleague from Singapore or from Europe takes over, they complete your task, and when you wake up in the morning and you check your mail, everything is done. Virtual collaboration with people that you've never met before. So self-management is important. Then information handling. It's not so much what you say. Well, it's not so much what you don't say, it's what you say. You have the right to remain silent. Competition can be very aggressive in the shipping industry. So you can just brag about your new job, but guess what? Somebody might be listening, the wrong person at the wrong time. So confidentiality is very important in shipping. I remember when I started my career, I'll never forget, competitors were just checking our garbage bags, right? Have you ever seen that? Well, it happens. You know what they're doing, okay? They pay people just to, now this espionage, mini commercial espionage takes place on the internet, right? So you have virtual and cyber security issues. Well, another thing is understanding job instructions. If you can, are you sure you have understood what your task is? So in shipping, we are very dynamic and we are goal-oriented. It doesn't matter if sometimes you feel, you have to do this and you have to work very long hours just to get this done. When the time comes, you can leave the office earlier, but your life, in order to fit into this environment, has to be task-oriented. So you have to get things done. And of course, nobody knows everything. Shipping is an industry where you get to learn every single day. Even if we were to live 200 years and work in the shipping industry for 200 years, there's still so much to learn every day. So we have to be open to this. Be very open and perceptive, like, I understand, I still need to learn much more. And of course, problem solving. By the way, last year in Washington, D.C., there was a questionnaire that was sent to companies that were recruiting young people just like you. And they thought, we need younger people to learn how to solve problems. So being very efficient and be an A+ student is not sufficient. We need to think outside the box. So for this reason, education has to be unconventional. We have to teach our children how to think outside the box. And yeah, sometimes solving a problem can create another problem, but there's nothing wrong with it as long as we learn from our mistakes. Now, you see the roller coaster there. Are you ready for that? This is going to be a typical day in a shipping company. You're going to experience the ultimate happiness, sadness, anxiety. One client is going to call you, you're going to feel on top of the world. And then something will happen, you will feel like, oh, I'm going to kill myself right now. So you have to be ready for that, right? And you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. Like, okay, I feel terrible now, but it's going to change, right? My next client is going to call me, something's going to happen. And thank God, in shipping, everything happens. So be ready and enjoy the ride. Really, enjoy the ride. So this quotation that I have there for you is, just remember, when the market is bad, like there has been an economic crisis since 2008, this is a global phenomenon. Nobody is going to blame your company or yourself if you're not doing well during a crisis. There's nothing wrong with not doing well. However, if there are opportunities out there and you fail to get this opportunity, if you fail to make a deal and take advantage of a good trade, this is when everybody's gonna blame you, and it's gonna be really tough. The market does not forgive. So this is something that you have to remember. So this is a quote from a fellow Greek writer. He said something that I really love. It's about loving responsibility. So every day when you go to work, all of us, we should think, it's my duty to save the day. If I don't do it, nobody will do it. Not because you don't trust anybody else, but we have to be responsible to enjoy our role, to enjoy our career in shipping. We have to take things a little personal. And just to support that, I put those pictures there. Sometimes you might have your family and your beautiful children waiting for you at home. You might need to work overtime because there's an important meeting or there is a financial, whatever, conclusion. You have to sign a contract. Or sometimes, well, our captains here at TSU can verify the ship can be on fire, there can be act of God, like a hurricane, terrible weather. You have to save the day. You can't say, oh, I've got my dancing class right now. I gotta go. No, you have to be there. You can stay in an office for 3 days in a row, like most of us here in this room, the adults, here, the mature professionals. You have to do this. And you have to love this. And you have to enjoy the whole process, okay? So as a conclusion, just to let you know that Texas, God bless Texas, is a wonderful place to be for many reasons. So one of the many reasons is that the economy is just thriving. So Texas, on its own, is one of the most wealthy and lucrative states within the US, and of course one of the most wealthy and profitable parts of the world. Well, it has minimum unemployment, so this is good for you. 7.7% of the US GDP comes just from this land. And taxation, incentives, just in the Gulf of Mexico, we have so much oil and gas. We are leaders here in Texas. So this means jobs for you. This means we're here to educate you and take care, make sure that you know your next steps and nothing comes to you as a surprise. So this is very, very roughly an indicator that maritime, energy-related jobs, technology, manufacturing, trade, everything happens in Texas. And in the facts and figures, at a global level and at a national level, Texas is indeed the land of opportunity. So it's a good thing to be here and try to make Texas even better. And I want you all to be educated, perhaps at TSU or any institution that you believe can offer you this maritime, let's say, courses and knowledge that you feel that you need. This is it. So thank you very much.